So this is a pie chart. All of you are really comfortable with sets, so should not be a problem. Right? So what does this say? Refer to the pictograph of a survey of students at Central Community College. Each symbol represents 10 students in a sample of 300. So this one represents 10 students. So every hourglass symbol represents 10 students, right? These are drop down menus to complete each statement, right? So you have to use your basic sets knowledge to get to this entire thing. Quickly, 3 minutes. You're not getting the answer? This entire thing you'll get 2.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes each. Oh, 1 hour, 75 seconds each. So it says if one student is selected at random from the 300 surveyed, the chance that the student will be under 30 or a high school graduate or both, right? So which part of the graph shows students which are under 30? Either a student can be under 30 or over 30. There is no middle ground, right? So which part of the graph shows depicts the students which are under 30? Anything outside this circle which represents 30 years of age or older. So which is outside this circle? This entire part. This is the students who are under 30. This or a high school graduate. So now which are the high school graduates? Outside of the right circle. Outside of the right circle is this or both. Which is the region which signifies both? Top. So these are the students who are under 30 as well as high school graduates. So to find the total number of people, so which is the only part that I am excluding? Intersection of the two circles. So this is not there. So it is 1 minus of this. 1 minus of how many other? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 minus 5 by 30. So 25 by 30 is equal to 5 by 6. How many of you got this answer? Got it?
So the first one has 11 Indian candidates, so 1 times 11.
Yeah, 110. Yeah.
Intersection has 5.
Right.
It makes it another 50.
Okay,
I got it wrong.
You just had to exclude these.
I was getting 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes. So when I was thinking that top part, I didn't even consider.
You didn't consider this part.
That's why I asked. Now how is it linked to
30 is total. It says 300 surveyed. 300 surveyed and every 10 students represents one block. So basically it's number of 30 hourglass symbols. You count, you get 30 hourglass symbols totally.
I got it, mine others.
Right, so out of the 30 hourglass symbols, 5 hourglass symbols are not to be considered. So 25 hourglass symbols are to be considered. That's 5 by 6. Once you get to know the solution, it's easy, right? Every time. Second, one student is selected at random. Chance that the student will be both under 30 and a high school graduate. So this is just a subset of the first question. Right? So which is the area which represents students which are under 30 and high school graduates? The part which is outside. This. Huh?
First one I got 5 by 6 and second one I got 5 by 6.
Right?
We got these questions.
Yeah. You're thinking of leaving it?
No. I'm thinking it might be
Paper?
taking the notes from that.
But in the GMAT exam, you have to look at the screen itself, right?
That's okay. The screen is closer.
You can come in front. There's a chair here.
I'm just telling you.
Finding solutions for you. Right? Move forward. Type 2 table analysis. Right? So table will be provided. Candidate has to arrange or pick out selective data and use it for analysis. Questions will be generally pertaining to maths or logical reasoning. Right? So height wise, etc., or some amount of maths, GDP, etc., all these different questions can come. So this is an example, percentage of population visiting selected cultural institutions in a single year. So sort by, you have the options to sort it by something or the other. Right? So special feature is the sorting of the tables is allowed. For each table analysis question, there will be a prompt and then 3 individual questions and only 2 answer choices from which to select true, false, yes, no, etc., etc. Right? Prompt can be quite wordy, delineating precise specifications. You must get answer to all 3 prompts on the page correctly to earn credit for the question. Right? Let's do a sample question. So the same thing, percentage of population visiting selected cultural institutions in a single year. For each of the following statements, select would help explain, if it would, if true, help explain some of the information in the table. If that statement would help explain some of the information in the table. So it's a reverse right? It's reverse extrapolation, that's required interpolation. That is what among these statements which help this statements, right? 3 minutes again, 1 minute per question. Actually, this question can get little easier if you have the sorting table feature in front of you, right? So that's why I gave the extra half minute. What's the first one? The proportion of the population of Brazil that lives within close proximity to at least one museum is larger than that of Russia. Right? So would it help to explain? So basically what can we see from the graph? What's the question? It means that this is some additional information that is given to you. Right? Will that support what is given in the data? Right, so if you find that the generalization that is given in the question is not supporting what is given in the data, it's not coherent.
Or is it the way that can you derive that information from the table and hence make that conclusion valid?
You can't, it is little putting the cart before the horse. So since this is already given to you, the max you can do is find whether the data in the table is coherent to what that claims or not. It's true or not, basically like that. Critical reasoning, exactly. So this is logical reasoning part of it. Right? The first statement says proportion of population of Brazil. So here there is an underlying assumption, right, which they have not mentioned, that people living closer to a museum will go more frequently to the museum. You can't generally assume, but yeah, in this question it seems you can. You have to assume. There's a quote also that says that people living closest to a temple are farthest from the god. Right? There was right. But in this case, I suppose you have to assume that if you are living closer to a museum, you are more likely to visit it. Little illogical, yes, but true. There was a survey done in Agra and it seems only close to 55 to 60% of the people have visited the Taj Mahal. Right, so. Yeah, so the answer of the first one is, it will help explain. Because of the underlying assumption that people living closer to a temple, to a museum will be more likely to go to the museum. right? So the percentage of people, so this is just a hypothesis. It's not like the final end all and be all. So the hypothesis says that, if you just think about logically, if you live closer to a museum, you're more likely to visit it. Forget about the human behavioral science, etc., etc. So excluding that, it would help explain the entire process, right? Because if you assume Russia, only 5% is visiting the museum compared to the 7% in Brazil, and only 2% is visiting the Science and Technological Museum compared to the 4% in Brazil. In both cases, Brazilians are more likely to go to the museums, right? If they are living closer to the museums, why not, right? Second one, of the countries of political unions in the table, Russia has the fewest natural history museums per capita. Again, an underlying assumption. No, there is no assumption. So, if Russia would have the fewest natural history museums per capita, that is for 100 people, Russia has only suppose 2 or 3 museums compared to a US which may be having 15-20 museums, right? If that is the case, lesser number of people would obviously be going to the museums. If there were more museums, more people would go to the museums. If there were less museums, less people would go to the museums. You can't, this is again an assumption. Again, it would help explain. Help explain. It has lesser museums per capita.
But I can't tell that from here, right? Because I don't know what's the total.
No, it says that per capita going to the museum is lesser in Russia. It would help explain that lesser people go to the museum because there are lesser museums. Russia is the least number of natural history museums.
But I can't really say that, right? What if the museums are lesser but more people go?
If museums are more, hypothetically, more people would go. Right? If you had 6 options to go to 6 different museums, you would like, okay, 6 different weeks, I'll go to one museum each. Right? If there's only one museum, you will go there once, that's all. And this is of all the natural history museums. Right? So, irrespective of whether you go to one or the other, so if I just take 6 different museums, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You go to all of them once, but it's counted as 6 visits. Right? You don't want to go to them again, you visit all of them once. But you've gone there 6 times. One person has gone there 6 times. The total amount of population would have gone 6 into that many number of times. Compare that to Russia. You have only one museum. You go there once, how many times? You'll be like, "Arey yaar, I had gone there last week only. What's new about that?"
Like in CR, try to break it, and here you are taking all those assumptions actually can break it.
So this is would likely to help explain. So in CR it's make or break. Will it explain or not?
Whatever it gives, you have to assume it's all linked to the
It's not assumed to be linked to the questions, but there will be a trend, right? If you see mathematically also, you have 6 visits, 6 different museums to go to. You will have more options to go to different museums. If you have only one, you will go there once or twice or thrice and then you will be like, okay, I am done. Right? So if there are lesser museums, there are lesser people going to the museums.
There are 3 barbecue nations in Bangalore. One in JP Nagar. I will not go from my trip to JP Nagar. I will rather go to Indira. Why will I go there?
This is
natural.
Yeah.
so you're like, who goes to natural museums anyway? I'm just talking about it not from, again, GMAT doesn't deal with the behavior part of it. Right? GMAT just deals with the statistical part of it. So it does not tell about the behavioral part that, okay, there are more museums per capita. I'm statistically more likely to go and visit these museums. And statistically less likely to go and visit that museum because that is only one museum.
Suppose it's actually contradictory to the approach that we take in CR.
There are a couple of assumptions, yeah. So these are right from GMAT. So if they support one answer, so this is all getting used to the thinking pattern of the GMAT people, right? So in the end, if you have to score well on the GMAT, yeah, because IR is all about quick, breezy responses. You can't afford to get into the nitty-gritties of a question. Yeah, JP Nagar se jayega, Indra Nagar, Hebbal jayega, yaar, kahan jayega.
And moreover, there is data. Here you don't have.
Right, so it is a very rough, superficial assessment of the entire analysis. Right?
CR we have to find the correct
Example.
already there.
Right, exactly. So just superficially, I see that these are 6 places to go to. More likely to go to the museums. 1 place to go to, less likely to go to the museums. Supports. Done. You have 1 minute to do this. You don't have more than 1 minute. Right? Third, the countries of political unions in the table. The 3 that spend the most money to promote their natural history museums are also those in which science is most highly valued. So basically, you have to sort the tables.
And see the
Again,
one
you
squad
can assume
correspond.
that money is directly associated.
Or see whether the highest here history this is actually not linked to the spend. This is the number of
Visits.
population visiting.
So again, the underlying assumption is that if you spend more money on a museum, it becomes more attractive to. So they don't consider the Indian bureaucracy. So yeah, this does not help explain statistically. You can't explain anything outside this. So what you have to do, since sorting is given to you, you have to use a sorting tool now. Find out in which countries are you more likely to find people visiting the museums, natural history museums. So the first is US, second is, this is natural history. Second is, oh, South Korea, sorry.
And 2 are there for the third slot.
Right. And third is EU plus Japan. Right, this is decreasing order.
Then you see the correspondence, right?
Then we see science and technology, right? So science and technology, first is US, second is China, and third is EU, right? And Japan comes way below, I think fourth. Right, other countries, the 3 that spend the most money to promote their natural history museums are also those in which science is highly valued. So most amount of money is roughly translated to the number of people who are visiting these museums. So South Korea does not figure anywhere at all. US, okay, there is little correlation. EU, little correlation. Japan, you also have to keep in mind that there are only 7. Right? But to make a hypothesis like that, you should have some direct correlation. You should have had South Korea at least in the top 3.
Maybe a 1:1 correspondence there also, because they are saying, getting a point, these are 2 different.
Not necessarily 1:1. 1 and 2 can get exchanged, but roughly it has to be the same. But since South Korea comes a very shabby 5th, so they are not at all bothered about the science and technology. Right? So this cannot be explained through the statement. Rough. This entire integrated reasoning is about superficial analysis, not getting into the nitty-gritties. Got it? So you can't assume that, okay, if there is only one museum, they'll always go and hang around, it will become the hang around place of that entire city, etc., etc., etc. Right? You have to assume that more number of museums, more options, more number of visits to these museums. More spending, more number of visits to these museums. Pick some numbers. So basically you have to sort the tables. Your entire approach has to be just sorting the tables. Right? Since the question is there and you have the option of sorting the tables, obviously the answer has to be derived from sorting the tables itself. You cannot use your existing knowledge. Right? that more people, less museums, etc., JP Nagar, Indira Nagar, whatever on all those things, right? So that is not valid. Move forward. Okay, so the first answer option was would help explain. Second was would help explain. Third is would not help explain. Right? Move forward. Two-part analysis. Right? So problem statement is given, followed by some statements, each of which contain two columns. Right? So it's not necessary that you'll have only two options or something up here, it may be more than that. Candidate has to select an option in both the columns correctly to get the answer correct. Right? So you have the option of selecting something up here, something up here. Right? So questions may be pertaining to maths or critical reasoning. So maths is a common topic in all these three up till now. We'll see in multi-source what happens, right? So this example, can you read it? Should I zoom? You can't zoom. Pardon me? No, it's different. Anyway, just take you briefly. The following excerpt from a fictitious science news report discusses a fictitious type of location called Morefa. So for zoologists studying the behavior of certain species of birds, critical importance of observing the birds in those species Morefa during the annual breeding season is obvious. Importance of observing the birds in those species. So Morefa is something of the species, right? Because there is an apostrophe S, right? Such observation allows researchers to study not only the courtship displays of many different individuals within the species, but also the species social hierarchy. Moreover, since some species repeatedly return to the same Morefa, so it is a geographical location or not? Or it is a state of mind, return to the same state of mind. So he was aggressive, he returns to the same normal behavior of his. Location, which, where? Oh, type of location. Okay. Right. So it's a location. It's not something intangible. It's something very tangible. Right? That's what you can assume. Since some species repeatedly return to the same Morefa, researchers can study changes in a group dynamics from year to year. Value of observing a Morefa when the birds are not present, however, such as prior to their arrival or after they have abandoned the area to establish a nest, is now only becoming apparent. Right? Is only now becoming apparent. So, Morefa roughly translates to some place where they stay or something like that. Right? So, you can answer, must happen in the location, sleeping, etc. All these things can come in the two-part analysis. Right? Candidate cannot guess as the total number of possible answers here are not 5 but 25. Right? So, you cannot say that I'll just pick something here, something there, etc. Right? Because there are 5 options here, 5 options here. You have to get all the 5 options bang on target. Right? So it's 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, 1 by 32 probability that you will get the right answer. If you guess. Not 1 by 5. Right? Do a sample question. So a period of 5 academic years from fall 1999 through spring 2004, number of faculty at a certain college increased despite a decrease in the student enrollment from 5,500. So let's just do this quickly. 3 minutes again. So you have to find the number of faculty in fall 1999 and you have to find the students per faculty member in spring 2004. You have 5 options for this, you have 5 options for this. You select one option out of these, you select one option out of that. Which of these following is the approximate number of faculty in fall 1999? Yeah, applying in round 1, still not very significant because you'll be applying a lot of people who have given GMAT earlier already. Right, so they will not have any integrated reasoning. So it's like a bonus if you get a good score, but it's not mandatory. Right, because you will be comparing with the pool of all applicants who have not given IR also. If you have a poor score, it's a bad. If you get a good score, it's a bonus. So you're not on the same ground as them at all.
Yeah, but in AWA, you write any draft, just be okay with your calculations.
We'll get a 4.
You get a 3 plus anyhow, but not with this. Here it is pretty straight. Either you get it, you don't get it.
Yeah, so that serves as an opportunity, right?
Yes.
So if you get it, you are at a higher pool. You know, if you are waitlisted or something, you'll definitely be considered to be either the people who are waitlisted who have not given GMAT may be asked to give GMAT again just to see their IR scores, or you may be given preference. So you have a slight advantage if you score better on the IR section. Score a 2 or 3, then there is no hope. No, there is still hope. I mean,
No. But sometimes like 0 to nahi aayega.
huh?
0 का score नहीं होता है.
It's 1 to 8.
Maybe from next year onwards it will become very critical.
Yes. This year, since it's the first year, I don't see colleges very particular about this entire thing.
Do we get practice material on this because courses are
I think online there are enough. There are enough. I think GMAT itself has released 50 questions, data sets, etc., etc.
GMAT.
So
That's part of Power Prep or GMAT Prep or
GMAT Prep. GMAT Prep also, the new GMAT Prep will have this. We'll have some 12 questions from there, 12, 12, 24, 2 GMAT Preps.
okay, you are saying OG has
OG does not have.
they have released a code.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the set. Plus in the GMAT Prep also they have the practice.
Yes. So, exactly. So you have enough. Once you have all that, I keep telling, once you have done all that, come back to verbal. That's the biggest point. Done? Not very sure. It's not so superficial also कि देख के बोल गया ये चलो, right? You have to do some amount of analysis. Right? You start. So a period of 5 academic years, so we read up till here.
Yeah, I think we have to draw a table.
Not necessarily. We can solve the questions independently as well. You can find the number of faculty involved. So basically you just have to write whatever existing knowledge you know before you start solving. So what do I know? Student enrollment from 5,000. So in fall 1999, student enrollment was 5,000. So what is X? X plus A. Okay. So, yeah, let student, right? So students, let students of 99 is equal to 5,500, right? F and S represent this is S already. So let's change this. This can't be S. Let's put this as X 99. Right? X is the number of students. F is the percentage change in number of faculty. And S is the percentage change of students. Right? Anything else? R is the students per faculty member. Right? In 99. Yeah, S99 by F99. Right? So first is number of faculty in fall 99. So what is number of faculty? I know that this is the number of students. Oh, X99, sorry. This is X99. This is X99. Right? So I see that there is some correlation up here. So Let's go with options now. 5500 hours is student into student upon faculty. That's student square upon faculty. The dimension itself makes no sense. Second, student upon student by faculty gets cut is equal to faculty. Makes sense, right? Second option makes sense, that's the number of faculty. Third is 1 by R, it will just give you the ratio of faculty by students, right? Fourth and fifth will just give you the percentage changes, correlation. Fourth, fifth, sixth. So I know that this is the only thing that makes sense. Got it right? Everyone got it right? So the first one is this. Still, you haven't got the caselet right. You need to find out the second answer as well, and only if you have both the answers, it will be marked. Second one, students per faculty member in spring 2004. So now you have to use the percentage change formula, right? So I know that X99 is 5500. So X 2004 percentage change approximately will be X04 minus X99 upon X99, right? And this is percentage, so this will be into 100. So what do I find out? Let us find out X 2004 in terms of X99. I get X04 by 100 is equal to X04 by 99, X99 minus 1, right? So I have to find out X04 in terms of X99. So X04 times 1 by 100 minus 1 by X99 or minus of this is equal to 1, right? So what is, you get X99 plus 1 upon X99 plus 100 upon X99 into 100. That is, we take to the other side, X04 is equal to X99 into 100 upon X99 plus 100. Pardon me?
It's asking the ratio.
What's asking the ratio?
Number of students per faculty member.
I haven't even reached the faculty members yet. It's only students. No, sorry. This is not X 2004. This is just a percentage change. So this is equal to S. S is equal to this. Changes everything. Right, S by 100 is X04 by. So if I have to find X04 now, I have X04 is equal to S by 100 plus 1. So S plus 100 upon 100 into X99 is equal to X04. Right? Take this one on the other side of the equation. S by 100 plus 1. That becomes S plus 100 by 100.
This is for the number of students.
Yeah, number of students in 2004.
That should decrease. Yes.
It says it's progressively decreasing, the student enrollment. It does not say that there is attrition. It says it's not over a period of 5 academic years, number of faculty increased despite a decrease in student enrollment. Decrease in student enrollment, maybe that this year there was 100% enrollment, Next year there was only 90% of this.
It will be still lesser than that, considering the capacity of. If you look at 2004, it will be progressively lesser than what it was in 99. That is what. Let's assume that they have 1,000 seats. So every year, a 10% reduction is there. So let's say 2 years, 10 plus 10%, it will be less than 1,000.
Mathematically, how do you say we do that?
Let's say 5,500 students in 99.
Yeah, I don't. That's okay.
That means
You have to bring it in terms of S because S is a known variable here, right? Now, how do you do it? Did you write this?
Yes. In my case, what I did was number of students in 2004 will be number of students in 2099 is 1 minus S by 100.
No, did you logically arrive to that or you just wrote that?
Logically, it follows from the.
No, did you write S is final minus initial upon initial?
That's the same thing.
Right? S is final minus initial upon initial. Once you start doing that, x04 by x99 minus x99 by x99, that is 1. Till that is fine, then you take 1 on this side, no? It will become plus 1.
It is a decrease. So it will be x99 minus x04, correct? It is a decrease.
No, it is percentage change. Final minus initial upon initial. Initial is 99. It's not saying that, 2004 can never be the initial.
Here I have a see, in case of percentage change, we take the delta. We don't consider the magnitude of that, if whether it is plus or minus.
Right.
In this case, 99 is more than 2004 fact.
But 99, it's not, we take the magnitude only because final minus initial. Right? You're confusing this with percentage increase and percentage decrease. This is percentage change. This can be negative. Percentage change can be negative. But percentage increase can never be negative. Percentage decrease can never be negative. Percentage change can be minus 10%, minus 20%, something like this. Right? Because they have given us the formula for this, we have to use this formula. And it is x new minus x old upon x old. X new is 2004. X old is 99. X old is 99. If that formula wouldn't have been there, it is obviously that, if it is asking percentage decrease or percentage increase, then you can use your existing knowledge. Here it's asking a percentage change. So you cannot assume that. Right? It is x new minus x old upon x old. So you get S plus 100 upon 100. Similarly, you can do with F also.
Yeah.
F is equal to F04 minus, or maybe Y04 minus Y99 upon Y99. You will get F, or what do you call, the number of faculty in 2004 as F plus 100 upon 100. Right? So let me say Y04 is equal to F plus 100 upon 100 into Y99. Right? Now I have to find the student per faculty member. So I have to find equation 1 divided by equation 2.
But what about the other?
X999. Yeah. So the answer that's mentioned up here is 100. There should be an R in all the options. I think there's one printing mistake up here. There should be an R in all the 3 options. The answer is 4. Yes, this one. Got it? Whatever is given to us, we have to make sense of only that.
Yeah, okay.
You can't use your existing knowledge in this.
In the other scenario, you would have ended up with E as answer. I mean, fifth one.
If it was percentage decrease that was given. Right? Percentage change is very different from percentage decrease. This is the key word, percentage change.
And more than that, they have given the formula, so you need to use it.
Exactly.
It's like,
Right? Move on. Getting the hang of it?
yeah. They should not get this into the scoring of your final.
Pardon me? Yeah. So this is the reason that they mentioned the formula is because of the ambiguity of the sign. If they wouldn't have given the formula, you could have used percentage increase, decrease, whatever. Right? But because this sign is very crucial in all the three things, that's why the formula is mentioned. And anyway, the percentage formula is this itself. Delta, that is final minus initial upon initial. Right? Second sample question. So quasi JX is a new car model. Under ideal driving conditions, quasi JX's fuel economy is E kilometers per liter, whereas driving speed is constant at S. So now you have to find liters of fuel in 1 hour and liters of fuel in 60 kilometers. Done? Ritesh? So, fuel economy is E kilometer per liter, right? And speed is speed upon a kilometer per liter. S is kilometer per hour, right? So you need to find liters of fuel in 1 hour. So you need to find L by H. So how do you find L by H? L should be in the denominator, H should be L should be in the numerator, H should be in the denominator. So H is already in the denominator here, right? So I will find S in the numerator. If I divide by E, I will get kilometer per hour upon kilometer per liter. Kilometer gets cancelled. I will get liters per hour. Right? S by E is first option. Second is liters of fuel in 60 kilometers. Right? So in E kilometers, I use 1 liter. In 60 kilometers, I will use 1 by E into 60. That is equal to 60 by E. So, easy? Some of them may be easy. Hey, you can't get less than 1, so.
What?
Score. Depends where you are applying. As I told you, when I was applying to, I went to one Australian college and I told I give GMAT and they're like, oh, you give GMAT, congratulations, welcome. Maybe, so maybe to give satisfactory answers to future batches, maybe you can be the Balika Bagra, learn everything, come and tell us as to what happened, how much was the impact when you finally got your score. Real exam में पता चल जाएगा.
Not know whether you not right or wrong.
Yeah, but still it's like it's a different thing, right? When you're coming short and you have to see.
She's like when you're blindly guessing. So the strategy to follow, the strategy.
I think I take much more time than this, so I better get this. I think how much the impact that when you get one.
Again, impact is a very related term. Are you talking about psychological impact?
No, score, yeah. Score.
Again, it depends whether you get it right or wrong.
That is true anywhere. Strengthening the probability, you know, how many you can get.
Assuming that 4 are experimental questions, 8 are the actual subsets, it is 1 mark per subset, 1 mark per set. Okay? So it depends now whether you got the experimental question wrong, guess mara, Yeah, wo. It's very easy. If you want an answer, I told you in the first class. If you want answers, I'll give you answers. But don't ask me about the credibility of the answers. So typically they say 1/3 of the questions are experimental questions. Assume 3 or 4 of them are experimental questions. And everyone, again, assuming that everyone has the equal weightage, like, which is the most horrible thing in critical reasoning, I've assumed like 3-4 things together. Right? Every question has equal weightage. You've got 1/3 experimental questions and you've done something wrong. If it is not experimental, no problem. If it is experimental, no problem. If it is not experimental, 1 mark gone. It's time consuming because it's the first time that you're doing it. Once you start doing it and you realize that superficially karna hai. Right now you don't even have the tools to sort the table. You just sort the table once, you realize, okay, these are 3 least things. They're not correlating at all. It's evident in front of you. You should basically know what to sort. Yeah, and it basically IR covers everything in GMAT. Start from critical, okay, there is no sentence correction, don't worry. But critical reasoning is there. Now multi-source RC type of questions are there. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Right? Final thing, multi-source reasoning. As the name suggests, sources are multiple. You have to make some head or tail out of the different sources. Not zigzag, not exactly. Again, are you talking about the mindset or you are talking about the question themselves? Anyway. So, similar to RC, candidate has to make sense out of multiple sources of text such as email exchange between 2 people, etc. Then answer the questions that follow based on the multiple sources of data. 2 types of questions. First is ordinary 5 choice, multiple choice, exactly like the GMAT problem solving questions. Right? So you have multiple sources of data, they ask you one question, there are 5 options. Or multiple dichotomous questions. What are these MDCs? True, false, improve, detract, etc., etc. Right? So you have an option, 2 different options. Right? For each of the 3 questions, you have 2 answer choices, just 2 possibilities. You must answer all 3 questions to get credit for this question. Right? Similar to what was the 2-part analysis. Sample question. Huh? Yeah. Make head or tail out of this entire thing. I'm not going to read it out. This is multi-source. This is one source, techniques. Artifacts is the second source. Budget is the third source. Huh? This is sample question. This is a question. Okay. Question is the next part of it. This has to be there. I can keep doing left, right according to your command. This will be, it will be a split screen. Just like your RC passages. Read everything once. If you're still awake, I'll go to the next slide. Otherwise, we'll just switch off the lights and then we just... Huh? You want the question? How many of you want the question? As soon as I see the majority, I'll go to the next slide. Right now, no one wants to go to the next slide, so... Are you still awake? You want to play some mind activity games or something like that?
You start asking which one is better, mind or It's more like RC type now.
Yes. That's what I was mentioning in the last slide. Oh, you had napped off by that time.
No, it's a mixture of RCs. That's what you're
Yeah, obviously. No, this at least one case from each type will come. But it's not that. No, the data part of it will be constant, 3 tabs or maybe 4 tabs or 5 tabs or 10 tabs. But the types of questions are just 2. So you can see that the first question has 5 different answer options, just like a PS question or a RC question. But all other ones are dichotomous. Huh? So it's a good idea to summarize all the 3 different tabs in 3 different things. Your choice. If you're a visual person, make diagrams. Otherwise, you can make a 2-part analysis. You can draw a table. You can draw a graphical interpretation. Do what you want. So it tells us about the Kaksna artifacts. So the first question is, among the Kaksna artifacts is a wooden box containing both a small fired clay bead and some river sediment containing clay and plant matter. Both different types. Based on the museum's assumptions, which one of the following details about the bead can be determined by applying one of the tests? Right? So which of the tests described earlier? Were animal teeth or bones. For that, the technique described was something. Metallic ores and alloys, there was some other technique. Plant matter, there was some other technique, and fired clay objects, there was some other technique. Right? So the correct answer is E. Who says E? Who says A? What do you guys say? You are the non-voters. So using the techniques, analysis of 7 wooden statues requires 7 radiocarbon tests. Sorry. 1 second. Yeah. So techniques indicates that the only test the museum will apply directly to the fired clay bead is the TL dating. What is the TL dating? Right? Thermoluminescence dating. Right? Which determines the range of dates during which the clay was fired. Hence it's possible for the museum to determine a range of dates for the beads manufacture. Right? There is no clear relationship between the sediment and plant matter in the box, right? Obviously. And the location of the beads manufactured, right? Option B and option C. So option B and option C tells where it was manufactured, right? That cannot be determined. And also the time of the beads placement in the box, right? So range of the dates for its placement can also not be determined. Or the source for the clay of the bead also cannot be determined. The only thing that can be determined is the range of dates for its manufacture. Right? So the answer is A. Convinced? Any doubts? So the answer is A. Second one, for each of the following combinations of Kaksna artifacts, select yes if based on the information provided, the cost of all pertinent techniques described can be shown to be within the museum's first year Kaksna budget. So here you have to use the budget as well. The budget slide that was there. Right? So 3 questions are 2 fired clay statues and 10 bronze statues. Second is 3 fired clay statues and 5 tin implements, 4 fired clay pots and 20 wooden statues. Right? So for the first, is it yes or no? Arabda, you did the questions? You need more time? You need more time? Whether it is within the museum's first year Kakshna budget. What is the first year Kakshna budget? So there is unlimited IRMS testing, total of $7,000. So 4 TL tests, 15 radiocarbon tests, or cost of 40 ICP-MS tests. All together, not all together, all individually cost $7,000. Right? So now you have to find out if 4 TL tests cost $7,000, how much does per TL test cost? How much does per radioactive radiocarbon test cost? How much does the ICP-MS test cost? Right? Not exactly what is given here. I mean, you have to calculate only for what is given here. Right. So you have to find, if it is within $7,000. Right. If this total, so the first one, fire clay statues are analyzed using TL. Right, fire clay is using TL. Right, and 4 TL tests in $7,000. So we have 2 fire clay statues. That accounts for $3,500. See, this says total of $7,000. Right? The $7,000 is equal to the cost of 4 TL tests plus 15 radiocarbon tests. So 4 TL plus 15 radiocarbon is 7,000. No. This plus this. Right? Or cost of 40 ICP-MS tests. So 40 ICP is equal to 7,000. Right? So now it says 2 fired clay plus 10 bronze statues. So what was it for bronze statue? ICPM. Right? So 10 bronze statues, 40 can be in $7,000. 10 can be in divided by 4. Yeah, 7,000 divided by 40 into 10 divided by 4. Brain freezer. Right? So according to the budget, the first year budget of 7,000 equal to the cost of 4 TL tests plus 15 radiocarbon tests or cost of 40 ICP-MS tests. Right? Each ICP-MS test costs 7,000 by 40 and 10 of them will cost $1,750. Right? $1,750 is the cost of 10 ICP-MS tests. Also, since 4 TL plus 15 radiocarbon can come in 7,000. Obviously, 2 will definitely come. Right? So total cost will be 2 TL tests will, if you see, if 4 TL plus 15 radiocarbon tests can come in 17,000, 2 TL plus 7.5 radiocarbon is 3,500. Even if I assume that
But here the assumption is that it's of the same, both are the same weightage.
no, even I don't assume any weightage.
You are assuming, right? Because you are telling 4 TL plus 16.
No, it's quite possible.
equal to 7,000.
4 TL plus 15 RC is equal to 7K. Divide the entire thing by 2.
That's what I'm saying.
2 TL plus 7.5 RC is equal to 3.5K.
No, it's quite possible that the tier test is for maybe 6K. 4 tier tests is for 6 and 15 hours.
Yeah, so I divided both sides by 2.
But what is that?
I'm not saying that only 2 TL costs 3.5K. I divide this entire thing divided by 2. This is a logical equation. 4 TL plus 15 RC is 7,000. I divide the entire thing by 2. I didn't divide only the TL by 2.
The total is anyway going to be 3.5. So,
Right? So 3,500 is 2 TL plus 7.5 RC. Now I remove this 7.5 RC also. Even if this costs $1, this 2 TL is less than 3,500. That's all I know. Less than 3,500 plus 1,750 can be budgeted in first. So the first statement is yes. Second, 3 fired clay statues. So if 4 is 7,000, then again do 3 by 4 of 7,000 is how much? 3 by 4 of 7,000 is how much? 21 by 4. 5,200. Right? And 5 tin implements. What is tin implements now? What is the test for tin implements? Right? So if I go back here. Tin implements is ICPMS. ICPMS is basically 40 ICPMS tests can be done in 7,000. I need to do how many? 5. That is 1 by 8. 7,000 by 8. What's 7,000 by 8? 600 odd. 6. Right? So this will come out to be close to 5,200 plus 5 into $175. Right? Close to $6,000, $6,100, something like that. Again, possible. So this is also this option. Third, 4 fire clay pots. So that is less than 7,000. That's all I know. 4 TL. I don't know anything about RC. And 20 wooden statues. That is unlimited. No. Wooden statue is coming under
Yeah, so it's 15 is what we get from, but there we want 20.
right. Right? So 20 wooden statues plus 4 will be definitely greater than 7,000. Can't be budgeted. So this is no. Two more.
It's not actually 2 more, it's actually 6 more.
For each of the following combination of Kakshana artifacts, select yes if based on the information provided. Cost of all pertinent techniques described can be shown to be within the museum's first year. Again, Kakshna budget. Same type. 2 bone implements and 5 cups with decorated with gold. Again, you have to do this permutations, combinations. Should we just breeze through the answers? Two bone implements and 5 fired clay cups decorated with gold, right? So 2 bone implements should be analyzed using IRMS testing, right? And the 5 fired clay cups require TL dating, right? So budget of 7,000 enough to cover 4 TL plus 15 RC, right? Museum can clearly cover the cost of 4 TL tests. It's impossible to determine whether they can cover the cost of 5th test without knowing something about the cost of the RC, right? Unless you know about the RC, you can't find out about the thing. So this is no. Second one, 7 wooden statues and 20 metal implements. So what is wooden statues? Radiocarbon, RC. 20 metal implements uses ICP-MS, right?
20 will be called 3.5K.
3.5K, less than 3.5K?
Yes.
So 20 metal implements cost less than 3,500. Why? Because 40 can come in 7,000. So that is exactly equal to 3,500. Right? 7 wooden statues, again radiocarbon. So how much is radiocarbon? 15 come in 3,500. 15 come in 7,000.
No,
Plus that. 15 plus 4. Right? So 7 will come within less than 3,500. So this is possible. Third, 15 wooden statues decorated with bone. So now what do you require? IRMS tests, right? And also 15 radiocarbon decorated with bone. So you have both IRMS, you have both plant matter as well as you have bones. Bone is anyway, no, bone is IRMS tests, right? Okay. Is it unlimited?
Yes.
Unlimited IRMS testing, right? So bone is unlimited. And the only thing that is there is radiocarbon tests. So since 15 radiocarbon tests can be done within that, is 7,000. So obviously, if you remove the TL part, no, IRMS is anyway for free. You have to find whether this comes within $7,000 or not. You don't even need to do anything, right? Because TL is not there figuring at all. So you know that 15 radiocarbon tests can be done within $7,000. So this is also yes, right? So once you get the pattern, you can do this all in 20 seconds each. For each of the following artifacts in the museum, select yes if based on the museum's assumptions a range of dates for the object's creation can be obtained using one of the techniques in the manner described. Otherwise select no. Yeah, that's why they've given all 4 types of questions. It can't be done 2.5 minutes, it can be done 5 minutes, something else can be done 1 minute. Right? So bronze statue of a deer. Can you find a range of date for the object's creation? Back to the slide. Bronze statue of a deer. So the only technique the museum would use on a bronze statue is ICP-MS, which would not provide information about the age. So it's not possible to determine the age of the bronze statue. Second, fired clay pot. So TL dating can be used. So date so obtained is considered to be accurate within plus minus 100 years. Right? So TL dating produces a 200-year range of creation of the pot. Provides a range. So second one can be deduced. Third one, wooden statue of a warrior. So radiocarbon. Again, assumption is accurate to within plus minus 200 years. Produces a range of 400 years. Right? So for this particular thing, this is no, yes, yes. Got it? So these are the types of, sure.
Say the plan state of health, right? So you can't get the creation.
What is asked? Wooden statue of a warrior. So you are assuming that the plant may have died for like a long time and then the wooden statue was made after some time. That's what you're saying, right? Wooden statue. So wooden statue, yeah, it may be deceptive. Exactly. Thus you would be really cruel to make the statue of a warrior when the plant is still alive. Right?
And make a carve something in the right plant.
Yeah, you would be really, the plant would die at that point of time if it wouldn't have died already. So it wouldn't die. Okay. No time for nitty-gritties, especially if you have a limited amount of time for such questions, right? Got the fair idea about what the IR is all about? Any doubts? Even if you have doubts, you're like, no. So, you can contact us on inquiry@crackverbal.com. Call us whenever you, okay, not whenever you want. Contact us on these two numbers, website, Facebook, Twitter, and the RSS feed for the blog. Thank you.